Good afternoon. This is our second video clip that is going to show you how to get your image that you've saved off of PAX ready for submission for publication. In this case, the image editing software program that I'm using is Adobe Photoshop. You go into Adobe Photoshop and you want to open the document that you're going to be editing. So this is the image that we saved in the last video clip, a case of appendicitis. And you can see that this is a nice coronal CT contrast enhanced image, patient with an inflamed appendix. But for publication, we're going to want to crop this image using this cropping tool so that we can better focus on the region of anatomy that's our area of interest. So we click down and we go over the region of interest. You can see it's highlighted here. And this looks like a pretty good crop. I might want to make it a little bit closer over here, maybe a little bit closer over here. And then you say Image Crop. And now you can much better see how we focused in on our area of interest. Well, now that we've cropped a lot of black off the image, we probably want to adjust our windows and levels. So you go into Image, Adjust. And you can do this a number of different ways using auto levels or auto contrast or curves. Be careful if you use the auto function, the automatic functions, because they don't always give you exactly what you want. You might want to tweak it a little bit yourself. Auto levels, you can see, has made it just slightly darker. If we go into auto contrast, didn't really do much in this case. And if we're going to use the curves, you can actually look at the curve and make it a little bit brighter, a little bit darker, exactly what you want for publication. In general, for publication, you're going to want your image to be just a little bit brighter and just a little bit contrastier than what you like to see in print. So we're looking at our image, we're happy with the way that we've adjusted the levels, we're happy with our crop. We're now ready to size this for publication. And it's important that sizing it is the last of these three steps. So you get to your image size here, and what you can see is that we've got a width of about 5 inches, which is just fine, but our resolution is only 72 pixels per inch, and we need to make it 300. So you save it as 300. Notice that I've checked off here Constrain Proportions and Resample Image by Cubic. Very important that we have 300 pixels per inch. We say OK. Now this is going to make the file much, much larger. This program has resampled this image, and then you can't see your whole image, so you can go into View, Zoom Out, or you can see that's also a Control minus. So I'm now going to use my Control minus key to get back to where I was before to be able to see this appendix, because my next step is to create my arrow. Now in Adobe Photoshop you can add a layer, and layers are very helpful because it lets you put annotations on your images in such a way that they're separate from the background. You can see background here, which is my image, and layer 1 here, which I'm placing on top of it. And that's very, very helpful. Now if you haven't used Adobe Photoshop much before, you might get a little bit confused if the line tool isn't right there. Sometimes it'll be a rectangle tool. Make sure that this is a line tool. And when you go up to your line tool, you want to make sure that you've got your arrowhead checked so that you can have an arrow at the start of your line, and the default here 500% and 1000. You can also look at your foreground color right here, white. I want to have a white arrow. And now I'm ready to start. You want the tip of your arrow to be right at the beginning of the appendix. If you want a very straight line instead of a line that's a little bit offset like this, hold down the Shift key. It makes a nice straight arrow. And there we are. We're done. I like this image, and I'm going to save it. So File, Save As, and again I'm going to give it a new name just in case I made any mistakes. And I'm going to call this Appy1 Annotated, and I want to save it as a TIFF. Make very sure that you're not saving it as a JPEG. Again, that's lossy compression. You want to go all the way down, save it as a TIFF file. You might need to choose to have it save it as a TIFF with layers. That's appropriate. And here we go. Byte order, IBM PC. Make sure you haven't checked any more compression. You'd like to not compress your file, and there you have it. We're all done.